Today is my last day of carnivore. We just got back from the gym. Let me show you my last meal that I'm gonna have on carnivore. So we just got back from Publix at the hot bar. Let me show you what I got for my last carnivore meal. We got some Pacific meatballs, and then we got some bourbon chicken. That is literally it. Remember what I said in the other day's video, keep it stupid simple. Just remember the acronym KISS, and you're gonna be all right. So let's talk about my experience on the carnivore diet for the past 30 days. So I went ahead and I made some notes because I don't want to miss anything of what my experience was on the carnivore diet. Now, before we go any further, if you're new to my channel and you're not familiar with who I am, my name is Tim Ernst. I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach, which simply means I'm a keto coach combined with intermittent fasting, but I wanted to try the carnivore diet because I've never tried it, all right? So what I do is I'm an intermittent keto fasting coach that's helped hundreds of men from all over the world to lose at least 40 pounds in 16 weeks. That's kind of what my specialty is, okay? I've been doing this for many years. If you want to see more details about a video of what exactly I do and how it can help you, I'll go ahead and post a link in the description, or it'll take you to another video on my YouTube channel that'll kind of explain a little bit more in detail as to how I could help you, all right? So let's begin. So again, I took some notes because I don't want to miss anything. I always wanted to try the carnivore diet, and I knew that the month of January is where carnivore is very, very popular. Now, I've been a keto guy, intermittent fasting guy, probably since 2015. I've done several transformations on my own. My first transformation was kind of like a cyclical keto. You know, I would kind of like, actually it wasn't cyclical, it was more like targeted keto. So I would basically have just a little bit of carbohydrates before my workout and after my workout, okay? And that was it. It was only like 30, 40 grams of carbs, very, very low. Lost about 22 pounds in 16 weeks, not a whole lot of weight. But it was my second transformation in 2018 where I lost 70 pounds in 7 months. That was my biggest transformation that I had ever done. I'll probably throw up some pictures. I had a big beer gut and went to six-pack abs. And from there, I decided I wanted to help other men that are in my age range. You know, I'm gonna be 49 this year, so anywhere between that 40, 50 and above, things get kind of hard when you wanna lose weight. So let's get right into the carnivore diet. I've always wanted to try it. It was January. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna give this a try. There's really not much difference between keto and carnivore. The only difference is carnivore, you're eating all meat. Okay, all meats, you're not eating vegetables or dairy. I know some people have cheese and they'll have a little bit of avocado, which I don't have a problem with that. Whereas keto, you can have those things. You can have all your high-fat proteins, but you can also have vegetable, dairy. You can even have some fruit like berries, you know, blueberry, raspberry, blackberries, okay? So when I went into the month of January, okay, January 2nd, I wanted to really start this off with a bang, okay, for carnivore. But before I started doing carnivore on January 2nd, I started a 5-day fast, okay? So I went from the 2nd to the 7th, 5 days, no food whatsoever. I dropped 15 pounds right away. And then from there, I started my carnivore diet. So what did I learn about carnivore? Well, it's even more restrictive than keto. If you think a keto diet's restrictive, try doing carnivore. You're limited to only one food source, meat, protein. That is it. And me being a gym guy, I'm like, oh, I got this, man. This is going to help me get to my protein goals. I'm supposed to have 1 gram per pound of body weight. So if I get to eat a bunch of meat, hey, this is going to be great. Okay. So it's very, very restrictive. You're only limited to like, you know, people like go really hard, like they do the organ meat. Couldn't do the organ meat, but I could do steak. I could do ground beef. I'll do some seafood, maybe some chicken. I mean, chicken's kind of like that gray area. It's not really a fatty food, but it's still meat, okay? I would have bacon, I'd have sausage, I'd have meatballs, and eggs, okay? I did do eggs. Eggs are like my staple. So if you can imagine doing that for 30 days, all you can have is eggs, you know, steak, ground beef, organ meat, let's see what else, bacon, sausage, meatballs, you know, you're pretty much limited to just that, okay? Now, What I started to experience, obviously from the fast, I mean, my bloating went way down. But when I started the carnivore diet, I noticed that my bloating continued to be non-existent. I didn't have any type of bloating issues at all. Like my stomach felt flatter and flatter. And so that felt good. So no bloating, that totally went away. All right. Now, the one thing I noticed also, and this is kind of similar to keto, is that, coming off of the holidays, a lot of people are on their Christmas parties and New Year's, you're eating a bunch of sugar, right? Bunch of sugar. Well, I noticed that kind of went away. Like my cravings started to go away for craving sweets, things like, like I'm a big fan of peanut M&Ms. That's my weakness. I love it. I love sweets. I was a baker for almost 20 years at a local grocery store here in Florida, Publix Bakery. I was in management. So I kind of was born into it, so to speak, and I love my sweets, okay? But I noticed I didn't have much of a craving for sugar, and or even like the other savory stuff, like the snacking, like the chips and, pizza and all that other stuff, tacos. I kind of noticed my cravings went down for that. And the reason for that, point number 4 I want to make is that when you eat meat, it's very satisfying, okay? There's a difference between eating a bunch of carbs and sugars and then eating meat. You'll find yourself, when you eat meat, you're more satiated, okay? Which means you're not going to be as hungry. You're able to kind of go longer without eating. And this is why carnivore and keto combined with intermittent fasting, which is what I teach my clients. Fasting, sometimes people are scared to do, but when you do carnivore keto, you'll notice you'll be able to go from one meal to the next very easily because meat is very satisfying. You're just not hungry, okay? And the reason for that, carbs and sugars spike insulin and blood sugars, okay? You ever notice like perfect example, Thanksgiving, right? Everyone's coming over, there's stuff in their face, and what typically happens about an hour after everyone's done eating? They're on the couch, right? They're sleeping. They're experiencing what I like to call the carb coma, all right? And then what happens after they wake up from their carb coma? They eat again. So it's this vicious cycle, right? Well, when you're eating just meat, you don't experience those crashes with the blood sugars and the high insulin spikes. You have more of an all-day energy. So I noticed my energy was pretty even. I didn't have like spikes of energy or crashes so much. It was more like this just even energy all throughout the day, okay? Which I love because there were times where I'd take naps in the afternoon, didn't take any naps in the afternoon, okay? So that was great. And what's cool about the meat satisfying you, what ends up happening? You end up eating less calories, okay? So when you eat meat, you're going to be eating less calories, which automatically puts you in a calorie deficit. Therefore, you're going to lose weight, okay? So we got to keep that in mind, is that calories do matter. I see a lot of people on Facebook groups making all these keto treats and carnivore treats. I did a video about this yesterday. If your weight loss has stalled, you got to put away all that keto treats. It's ridiculous what people are doing, and they wonder why they're struggling. They're kind of missing the real thing. Just have the real thing. Maybe carnivore and keto ain't for you, all right? I like to go all in, okay? Just meat. So, but you'll notice that you'll be automatically in a calorie deficit because it's kind of hard to eat a bunch of meat because you get full pretty quick, okay? Therefore, it makes intermittent fasting that much easier, okay, to go from one meal to the next, okay? The other thing is big question, okay? How much weight did I lose? Now, this is very important, okay? When I first did my 5-day fast, I lost 15 pounds, okay? Yes, I know I'm going to probably get some comments. Some of that was water weight, okay? So there's a combination of water weight and fat. But look, I look at it like this. Weight is weight, okay? You get rid of water weight, get rid of fat, you're going to look great, you're going to feel great, all right? So I lost 15 pounds initially, and then from the 7th to now, so about 30 days, I lost an additional 12. So total weight that I lost in the 30 days was 27 pounds. Now, most people probably couldn't lose 27 pounds just doing carnivore alone. You're probably going to have to apply some fasting or intermittent fasting, okay? So that's one thing. So 27 pounds in 30 days, I was pleasantly grateful for that. But remember, the first 5 days, I lost 15, so right out the gate. And then from, let's see, an extra 20, it took me 25 days to lose 12 pounds. Now, the reason for that too, you'll notice your body's going to fluctuate. You're going to gain a little bit, lose it a little bit. That's totally normal. That's going to happen. Weight loss is never linear. You're never going to be on this downward path to losing weight. If you see my graph, it's going to look like this. You're going to have these little ups and downs, then a drop. Ups and downs, then a drop. That's kind of how weight loss works. So don't be, worried about your weight loss stalling. As long as that graph looks like that, and as long as you're kind of going down in the right direction, that is totally okay. All right, the body fluctuates in weight all the time. All right. Now, some of the drawbacks that I had with carnivore is that I like to train in the gym very heavy. Okay, I'm doing deadlifts, I'm squatting, I'm benching, I'm doing, back rows, and I do all the isolation exercises as well to build muscle, right? Because I want to maintain muscle mass while I do this diet, which can be very difficult. When you're in a calorie deficit and you're training hard, you could almost run the risk of losing some muscle, but I wanted to preserve muscle, so I had to make sure to stay with my protein goals. But I did notice I was a little bit weaker, okay? You gotta remember, glucose is a source of fuel. Glucose just comes from carbohydrates. You ingest it, turns into sugar, it goes into glucose. And this is why a lot of people are overweight, is because they're insulin resistant, okay? That means you're not sensitive to taking in carbohydrates. When you do keto and carnivore, you wanna heal insulin resistance so you can become insulin sensitive, all right? But anyway, I noticed a drop in my strength because I had no glucose in my muscles. I mean, my muscles now, my biceps look okay, but like if I started carb loading, I would really fill out. So your muscles are gonna be flat, okay? Because you got no glucose being put into shuttling into the muscle. It is what it is, right? You can only really chase 2 goals at a time. If you wanna lose a bunch of weight, just focus on that. If you wanna bulk up and build muscle, focus on that. Chase 2 things, you can't do 2 things at once, all right? Now that I'm losing the weight, once I hit my goal, then I'm gonna be focusing, more. We'll talk about that later in the video. So anyway, I felt weaker. Now, what does that mean I felt weaker? Was I doing less weight, less reps? I can tell you what I did, okay? I didn't want to decrease the weight. I wanted to keep my weights the same, but I noticed I may have done 1 or 2 reps less than I'm used to. I noticed that, okay? And I kind of got winded a little bit quicker, so my recovery time was much longer. So if the program that I'm currently on, it says like maybe certain exercises you're doing, you're resting between 2 and 3 minutes. I would take the full 3 minutes. Or if it was 4 minutes on deadlift, I would take the full 4 minutes. I noticed that I was not recovering as quickly as I would like. Okay, so that I did notice. So keep that in mind. If you're someone who likes to go to the gym, you're probably gonna notice you're gonna be a little bit weaker. And I will tell you, it's very important to build muscle because the more muscle you have on your body, the more your body's gonna burn calories sitting at rest. Just sitting here doing nothing, you can burn calories the more muscle you have. So muscle is very, very important. Do not skip that. And by the way, this 27 pounds I lost, I did no cardio at all, just weights. The only other thing I did is I took a walk in my neighborhood after I ate for 15 minutes. So every meal took, a 15-minute walk. That was all. No brisk walk, just regular walking. So no cardio at all. Now, if I had applied cardio to this, possibly could have lost even more, okay? But I wanted to test this diet and diet alone and just use a little bit of resistance training, all right? So let's see. Another drawback that you're gonna experience, which I don't really look as a drawback, it's almost, and I did do a video on this, is that you're gonna have less bowel movements, okay? And a lot of people think this is constipation, okay? Now, there's a difference between really being constipated and you're just going less. Now, I want you to stop and think about this from a logical standpoint. And this is some science to this as well. What is crap? Like, what is it? Okay, it's waste. Okay, it's all the food that you were eating that your body could not absorb, so it has to get rid of it in the form of waste. Okay, doctors will tell you, oh, it's healthy to poop 1 or 2 times a day, but that's complete. But yeah, that's true if you're eating a bunch of processed junk because your body can't use that. It has to get rid of it. The majority of the population, what are they eating? They're eating all the processed junk that you find down the grocery aisles, okay? This is why you're probably crapping 1 or 2, 3 times a day. When you drop the keto diet, there was times where I would go once every 3, 4 days. I think 1 week I only went once that week. And it's because all the food I was eating, my body actually needed for recovery because I was training so hard in the gym. So what happens is your body becomes like this well-oiled machine where there is no waste. So if you've experienced that, don't be alarmed. That's totally normal because you're eating less, number 1, so you're gonna be producing less waste. Number 2, you're eating the right foods that your body actually needs, therefore you produce less waste. And there you go. Like, it's totally, completely normal, all right? Now, would I do carnivore again, okay? Probably not, because I gotta say, I'm not a big vegetable guy, but I kind of miss my vegetables. There's a lot of vitamins and minerals and vegetables that I really miss. I'll tell you what my all-time favorite is salad. Now, salads can be pretty unhealthy if you're adding a bunch of, bad dressing, which be careful with the dressings you buy at the grocery store. If you look on the bottle, it's going to say soybean oil, canola oil, sunflower oil. That's all junk. I got a new dressing. You want to get something that's yogurt based or something that's made with avocado oil, which I can't wait to try today. I'm actually going to try my first salad in 30 days. I'm so excited about that. So that's basically what I'm going to be doing. Is I can't wait to actually incorporate the vegetables. So would I do it again? Probably not. I mean, keto is so similar to carnivore, plus you keep the vegetables in your diet, so I probably won't do it again. I just wanted to try it for myself just to see how well it would work. All right. So what's next? Well, I kind of alluded to it already. From here on out, I'm still going to apply intermittent fasting. That's very easy for me to do. I've been doing it for, gosh, I think it's been 10 years. I think I started fasting like in 2015 and we're in 2025. So that is something I'm very used to. I haven't eaten breakfast in 10 years. I don't eat till after the gym in the afternoon. I just feel more comfortable. I feel like a little bloated when I eat in the morning, and I don't like that full feeling in the gym. I'd rather get the training in and then eat food afterwards for recovery purposes. All right. So right now my weight is kind of fluctuating right now. I got down to 205 and then I went to 207. Now I'm 206. But the main goal is I want to get to 190. So I'm only 16 pounds away. I mean, the first 30 days, basically, I lost more than half of my entire goal. I was at around 233, got down to 205 was the smallest number I saw on the scale. And now I'm kind of in that 206 right now. So really, I've only got 16 pounds to go. All right. So that was my experience from doing carnivore in 30 days. All right. So if you like these videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. I'm going to continue to document my progress doing the keto diet with intermittent fasting. And I'm going to be showing some of my workouts on video. So stay tuned for that. And drop me a comment below. Have you ever tried the carnivore diet? And if you haven't, what other diets have you tried? I would love to know just to see kind of where you're at with your fitness goals this year. And again, if you need that extra help, I'll make sure to post a link in the description. I've got a couple links where, if you want to book a call with me, we can have a free 60-minute strategy session just to see if and how I can help you. All the call is really designed to do is to talk about really three major things. We'll just talk about where you're currently at with your body, where you would really like to be, and then we'll figure out a game plan to get you unstuck so you can actually reach your goal. And that's it. And then by the end of the call, we'll just see if you and I would be a good fit. All right, so it's free. Book that call. And I'll also post another video that kind of explains a little bit more about what I do and how I could potentially help you. So that's it. That was my experience on the carnivore diet. Talk to you soon.